What's good, y'all? This is Big C, and you're tuned into another episode of Unprivileged AF. Tonight's show hits close to home. We're talking about the tornado that slammed into St. Louis, the destruction it left behind, and what that means for the north side. Not just today, but tomorrow. We know the cameras come and go, but the people got to stay and rebuild if they even get the chance. So we're asking the real question. Does the north side even have a future? Or are we watching another chapter in a long story of abandonment? And to help us unpack all this, I got a special guest in the building, none other than Keith Antone Willis Sr. So get comfortable because we're not sugarcoating the damn thing. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling tonight?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey. So, well, you know, Janelle and DA, what's going on? How was you all's weekend, man? Did you all have? Well, let me ask everybody. Everybody have a good weekend? Everybody have a good holiday?
I did. I spent it in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Just got back today. But as y'all know, I'm in the middle of moving right now, so I'm all.
Yeah, because your background look kind of naked right now. So you making
I know. All discombobulate all my pictures down.
all your awards and degrees and all your
certificates.
Right.
Right. You can you hear the echo? I even hear the echo in here. That's crazy. But yes, I'm relocating. So yeah, I'll try to hang on as long as I can because I have to pack. And I gotta have everything packed up by Friday morning when the movers come. I'm about to start throwing stuff in comforters. You know, that ghetto move. I already decided that I was gonna do that. Take sheets and stuff and just start putting all the stuff in my closet. Just start throwing them, you know, like put a big blanket on the floor, just throw it in the middle of my floor, and then start putting stuff in there because I'm already over it.
And Chris, I was over in Columbus, Ohio, my hometown. Although I've lived in St. Louis since 1989, and I said I was going to get this popsicle stand a couple of years. I've lived here longer than I have anywhere else, but I was in my hometown, Columbus, Ohio, over the weekend, and I had a phenomenal time. So thank you for having me tonight. I am so humble and thankful for you to have me. I'm honored.
Okay, appreciate you. Appreciate you joining us, man. Always. Yeah. DA.
Oh yeah, what did I do? Oh, yeah, I was in Hawaii over the weekend for a wedding, and you know, congratulations, Aaron and Misha. You know, it was a beautiful wedding right there, beachfront. I mean, good food, good people. You know, it was a pretty good time. Love, laughter, and health to them both.
I wish I was with DA.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, all of us.
Hawaii, Columbus.
At least y'all was gone somewhere. I was stuck here at home. You know, stuck here.
Well, you know the best thing about being at home, you know exactly what you're about to do.
And I did absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Exactly. There you go. Yeah,
You
that's the
know,
best thing about being at home.
somebody asked me what you so what you doing this weekend? As little as possible. That was my answer. As little as possible. And I didn't even barbecue. I didn't even barbecue. It rained too much down here. We had a lot of rain over the weekend.
Yeah, that was my wife's answer. She was so happy to do nothing. And I was like, did you miss me? She said, hell no. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I wanted her to miss me, but she didn't miss me.
Yeah. Well, that's to be, sometimes they just want that little break too.
Yeah.
27
years married, so I'll give her a break every once in a while.
Yeah. I do mine the same way. I'm the same way. We got 3 years in. We coming up on it will be 4 years in December. So all right. So I guess we got to get into it, man. So we had this tornado that hit the city of St. Louis, and I don't know how long. And this was, I think the last one was that one when that hit the airport, DA. That was the last time one hit, wasn't it?
No, I mean, there was one not too not in the two past about a year and a half ago, really. But I mean, not this, not like this though. It was nothing like this.
I think it was like 1959 or something
Yeah,
where one
I
came,
mean,
59, 54, something like that.
One that
what we
caused.
talking about? You talking about the city, not in
Yes,
the
they
county. Because
actually hit
yeah.
the city and
Oh,
they
okay.
had
Yeah.
destruction like that. Was it like in 1959?
Well, the airport is considered city.
Come on, dog. It's not. Let's not do that.
The airport is
Let's not
considered
do.
city.
Let's not do.
It's considered
Are we gonna do
city.
this today? I mean, that's what we doing today.
Well,
Hey,
I'll tell you what, that one was hard to, if you were here, that was hard to forget. So that's why it immediately pops in my mind. But
right.
yeah,
I was
I understand what you're saying.
had the nickname Plankboard City afterwards. So, but yeah, after so what are you all? What were you all thoughts afterwards? Were you? Because I wasn't there. I was. Where was I? I was at church. I believe was that because it happened. No, I was at work. And next thing I know, I get a text in my family's group chat asking my brother and sister, my older sister was asking my other brother and sister, are y'all okay? And I'm like, what happened? Why you just asking out of the blue? Are y'all okay? And I didn't find out until after I got off work of what happened. And my brother started sending pictures of everything that was going on in his neighborhood. And he lives in the Skink of the Bolivar neighborhood over there, right on Waterman, right off the Bolivar. So, and he showed me the damage. He lost 2 cars, 2 trees came down on 2 of his cars. He had some minor damage on his house, but there was a couple other houses on his block that had a lot of damage done to them. I think one of them got completely demolished. So, but what were you all's? Were any of you like directly affected by any of it?
I mean, you saw. I actually sent you the video of mine. Yeah, I mean, a total of 5 of my buildings were kind of messed up. Were windows blown out. That one I showed you with the whole back knocked out. But so I'm gonna have to get those 3 knocked down and 2 residential where they're going around right now inside the city. Basically they're doing the traffic light thing, whether or not they're condemning the buildings. They're doing the yellow, the green, you can stay. The yellow, it's sketchy, and they put that red sticker. You got to get out. So it's kind of like, oh man, it's definitely not a good situation down there for and some people still don't have power today.
Yeah, I agree, DA and Chris. And so I have several properties throughout the metropolitan area. The one I'm living in right now, I lost power for 1 hour. Boo hoo, right? But the other over on Maffitt, it was okay. And my property on Julian, all the trees in the backyard in the West End, every single tree was leveled. So I think it's where you were, and it's amazing. I drive down Skinker here in St. Louis, And as I drive down Skinker on the south side of Skinker, which is Forest Park, which I go to every day. I'm a golfer and I drive through that park every day. Several trees, it was like a movie, several trees were just wiped out. But when I look on the west side of Skinker, where Washington University is, they lost power. Matter of fact, the day after, I was speaking at a conference at WashU on that Saturday. The storms hit on Friday. And so it's just a matter of look at God and his crazy sense of humor that can really blow your mind, right? So on the west side of Skinker, they had no trees, no damage, and just the power was lost. But on the east side of Skinker in Forest Park, you had trees that were laying down and it looked like something out of a movie. I'm 64 years old and I have never seen anything like this in person in my life. And I say that because like I said, I've been around a very long time. Well, 64 years. And it was something to drive down a trip that would have took me 15 minutes, took me an hour on Saturday because I would drive down a road and then there were trees and blocked and we had to back up and then drive down another road. Man, it was something like I've never seen before in my life. And so when I say that this was historic, and I think the sister said it earlier that we have not seen this in the city since back in the 50s. And so we have experienced a lot of loss and destruction and friends and people that I know. And I own a couple of properties that we just purchased about a month or so ago over in that neighborhood. It is because, I'm in real estate. And so I have properties around the city and it's devastating. And so I don't want to focus that on me because that's not about, I want to focus the attention on these people that are going to have to rebuild, or these people, Chris, who unfortunately were renters and they don't know where they're going. They're sleeping in their cars and sleeping with relatives. I just talked to my wife, as a matter of fact, just talked to a brother who said his voucher for the hotel was up on Monday, which was yesterday. And he said, I don't know where I'm going. And so many people have lost so much.
Yeah.
And we need prayer and we need people. If you can donate, I'll give you later in the show, I'll give you a place where you can donate. But this has been devastating. And
yeah, so I was going to, that's a good segue. So, I know a lot of the damage hit on the north side. Okay. So how are they going to, is there going to be any rebuilding going on? I mean, because I put out a think piece the other day, and I was wondering if and that's just my 2 cents. I'm just saying, but I'm wondering if we're too fragmented to even come together to even rebuild the north side.
Chris, look, Big C. Let me say this to you. For the first time in my life, I have never, ever seen the community come together like they have. I mean, God has a funny sense of humor. And he said, okay, so y'all can't do it on your own. I'm going to do it through this natural disaster. We have seen rich, young, black, white, West County, East St. Louis from all around come together to address. I mean, as I said, I'm in real estate, and some of my real estate white agents have arranged to get tarps, boxes. I mean, not just 1 or 2 boxes, 3, 4, 500 boxes, food. And so our association, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, which is the Black Association, we've been out there on day 1. We have food trucks now through the end of the month that we are collecting donations for. So what I'm telling you, sir, is that the community has been coming together and responding. I can't say that people have not been responding. I can't say that people have not rise to the occasion. Different organizations, hundreds of organizations. And I'm saying organizations that I've never heard of. And my degree is in nonprofit management, and that I have never heard of. Black men that pray. I mean, just they're coming out of the woodwork. And so all I'm saying is that this has been a response that has been unprecedented. And not only unprecedented, but that I've never seen in any disaster, from the floods, from the whatever, since I've been here in St. Louis. And like I said, I'm 64 years old. I've never seen this kind of response. And it is amazing, the response that we are getting here in the city of St. Louis from people from all walks of life who just feel like, I got to do something. And I'm saying you absolutely have to. And I'll be honest, Big C, I've never seen anything like this, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm so proud of all of the organizations who are stepping up, lawyers who are stepping up, because we have, and when you have these situations and natural disasters, even down in Katrina, you have people who are going to try to take advantage, the vultures of people that come in and try to buy people's properties for pennies on the dollar. And I'm saying, we are watching you. We are here. We know who you are. And we are out here. And we're saying, not in our MF community, right? We're saying, no, you're not getting ready to do that. Not here, okay? Mm-hmm. And so we have lawyers who are going to be lawyered up this Saturday at the Urban League, from every Saturday, beginning this Saturday. We're saying you will not come in and steal our people's property. You will not come in and give our people pennies on the dollar because you think that they are in depressed. I have several homes that I have for sale because I've worked with investors. Mm-hmm. That people are set. My clients are calling me saying, Keith, they're coming in, offering me this, and the other. I'm saying, no, hold. We are not selling for $10,000 when your home is worth 65 or 75. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying to you is that we're here. We're not going nowhere. The National Association of Real Estate Brokers, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be watching. And we have partnered with so many organizations. And like I said, I'm passionate about this because last week before I left town, I was out there every single day. My wife was out there every other day. Only reason why we didn't go today, I just got back in town and we needed to have a little downtime. But beginning tomorrow, we're going to be out there every single day because we will not let our people lose their homes.
Okay. All right. Well, there y'all heard that, didn't you?
Yeah. You know what? I kind of have a different opinion from that because, I mean, I kind of see how that was already going. The gentrification already had started over there probably about 4, 5 years ago. I had a home right there, like 1 block over, where actually they got damaged in this. I was on the 5100 block of Enright, and I can remember. I can remember. I mean, what was that? I mean, I think I ended up. I think we ended up selling that home for 395, and that was in 22, 23. So they're already, like right on Enright. I mean, you just go 1 block over from Delmar, and they also changed that zip code to make it the new Central West End, because the whole Central West End zip code right there is what 63108, and they actually extended that almost all the way over to Soldan. So they're already trying to do it, but it's like, I don't think they'll be able to come in and just take people's homes. But if if they're rebuilding 300, if they're rebuilding, let's be honest, 250. A lot of people, I mean, when there's taxes triple and quadruple, that's where the problem's going to come for a lot of these people on fixed income, because
You
they're not
absolutely,
going to be able to pay the taxes.
you're absolutely right, DA. And so that's why we have to be the defenders of these folks. And you are so spot on. The gentrification has started. We've seen it years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I've been going through that neighborhood and through neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis, and people that don't look like us have been coming in there buying homes. They're walking. You're spot on, my friend. I cannot disagree with you. But here's the thing. What we're trying to do is stop a mass exodus. You are right. They are coming, and they're coming anywhere, not in St. Louis, not only in St. Louis, Columbus, Ohio, my hometown, Atlanta, Georgia, LA, anywhere there's gentrification. Because what happens is white folks are saying, I'm tired of moving 2, 3, 4 hours away. I want to move right here because I work downtown. I need to live close to downtown. In Atlanta, my brother-in-law, his friends, they all went and bought $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 homes, and then put $200,000, $300,000 in them, and now all of them are worth $500,000 or more, just like white folks have been doing. It's happening. So we gotta understand that. You are right. It has been happening, but what we are trying to do is stop them from taking people's homes who want to be there and or want to pass these homes on to the next generation. So it's going to happen. You're right. You're not going to be able to afford the taxes. Gentrification is going to happen. We're going to go ahead. We're going to make these $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 homes. We have a home over there. We bought ours for $100,000. The comps on it is like $600,000, $700,000, almost $1 million. We're getting ready to put 2 or 3. We have a home over there. Listen, I'm doing the same thing white folk doing, okay? We got one over there. Right now, we're staying in one of our Airbnbs until we get that one ready. I get it. But what I'm saying is, I don't want anybody to lose their home that don't want to lose their home. If you want to sell it, sell it. If you want to give it to someone in your family, do it. My whole point when I say we're watching, we're trying to stop people from taking people's home and tricking them out of their homes that may be worth $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 for $5,000. That's all we're trying to do. If you want to sell, I agree. You want to get the hell out of there, go. I believe in that. But what I don't want to see is people get taken advantage of. And that's why I said we're watching. We have probate lawyers every Saturday, beginning this Saturday until this thing is over. We've got people on the ground. We are watching, and we are coming, and we got receipts.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Keith. I read an article earlier too that says something about it's a lot of what you call generational homes that, mom and grandmom and grandpa gone. They've been long gone, but they still got the names on the deeds on those houses. And the people who's living in them houses now, they just been living there since grandmom and grandpa had it. Okay, but so what are they going to be able to do?
Right. So Chris, that's a great example. And I know that because I had it happen in my own family. So I'm going to talk from experience, right? So my mother had 2 homes in Columbus, Ohio. And one was one my dad bought in 1961, been in our family ever since. The other one, my mom had for the last 30 years. My sister died and she has 2 twins, set of twins, and one lives in the one home that we've had since 1961. The other one in the last 30 years. My mom in her dying bed said, I want the twins to have these homes. And so what happens is that neither one of them were titled, they were still in her name, and we were trying to do some food 1, 2, buckle my shoe. What happens is that, just like I told them, and that I would suggest to anyone else, you have a process that says you have to go through, probate, and not only probate and lawyers and wills. This is where we got to tell our folk, get wills, right? I have a client right now, her daddy owns this house. She has a house. They right on North Taylor. I'm selling her house. She said, my daddy wants to sell his house. I said, look, he's very, 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 very old. He's in his 90s. Why don't you quick deed that property to yourself? So if he dies, you don't have to worry about trying to go through probate. Because I've had deals that up to 2 weeks before they were supposed to close, the owner of that property died, and I had to wait 6, 7, 8 months to go through probate. So, but if you quick deed it to someone who is younger, just what my black folk need to understand, quick deed it to someone else if you own this property. Now, if you die, we can still sell it and give it to whoever else you want to, the assets. So we got to learn, and this is what we're out here doing. We got to learn how to play the game. The game has always been there. It ain't changed. What happens is so many of our black folk don't want to talk about death, don't want to talk about wills, don't want to talk about, the transfer of wealth. Mm-hmm. Homes, property is transferring wealth. That is it. The only thing God ain't making no more of is land. Okay? Mm-hmm. He's making a lot of other things, but he's not making no more land. So our people have to understand, and I specifically talk about black people because that's my concern. We got to talk about it. We got to get wills. We got to do inheritance. We got to do things. And the other thing, like I said, like what my wife and I, we don't have anything in our name. We have it in a trust, right? Because why? Because if anything happens to us, you can't come to us and sue us. It's in a trust. The trust, I got white folks to tell me they got a trust for each property they own. One is in their dog's name, one is in their cat's name, one is in their toenail name. You put it in a trust. Why? Because can't nobody sue the trust. We put it in our name because we want to be big, bad, and bold. No, stop it. Knock it off. Put it in a trust. That way it doesn't get caught up in probate. I'm dropping some stuff here right now. They don't tell us. Put it in a trust.
Yeah, but you know what? One of the things that I've seen is when we learn the game, they change it.
And they always will, Big C. But here's the thing about it. At least when we learn it, let's play it while we can, right? Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I'm saying. Let's play it while we can. And at the end of the day, that's why we have a president who made his money and his father made his money in the real estate game, right? They made their money in the real estate game. That's how they made their money. That's how they got rich. And they learned how to play the game and get the expenses and all the write-offs. That's what they learned. And what I'm saying to my people tonight, whoever was within the sound of my voice, when you get property, that way nobody can sue you and take everything. All of our cars, all of our properties, we have it in a trust. We have our business in an LLC, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we don't have to have our name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Black folk, stop it. Knock it off. Knock it off. Put it in a trust, LLC, get a will. Because one thing I can guarantee you tonight, and you better hear me now, think about it later. Anybody that's listening to this podcast tonight, you got a date. I can't say when it is, and I don't want to even predict it, but everybody gonna be gone. We all got a date. So if you think you're gonna live forever, get the hell out of here. We all got a date. So all I'm saying to you, my friend, is that we have to prepare and we have to talk. When we talk to our children, we have to tell them to buy a duplex. Why? Because you can live in one, rent the other one out, and then it pays, in the other side, pays for both of them. Come on. We got to tell our children. Me and my children, I got a friend. She said, Keith, I don't let none of my kids move out till they got $30,000 cash so they can buy property when they move out. $30,000 cash. She said that the first one, he was 25. The second son, he was about 26. She got 5 boys. And this one is 24. Said, Mom, I ain't got but 22,000. She said, you don't move out till you got 30,000. We must set the bar high and the parameter. We've got to tell our people and our children and build generational wealth. It's got to be multi-generational wealth. We can't keep saying, one thing about me, Chris, I said, listen, my mother only had a 8th grade, my father a 10th grade. Both grandmothers a 6th grade education. So I said, okay, I have to have all of my children have at least a college educational level. And out of 5, all 4 have a minimum of bachelor's, 2 have masters, 1 have a PhD, and the one that did not go to school has a very successful business. Okay, I married a woman with a bachelor's. I have a bachelor's because I said I wanted to have an educational legacy, because I know that if you have someone who has an educational legacy, you have a chance. When I learned this a long time ago, that you affect the next 6 to 7 generations of your lineage with an educational legacy. So we have to have an educational legacy, a financial legacy. This is what we have to have, my friend. This is nothing I'm telling you that's new. This is all factual. You can go and you can look it up. I'm telling you, when you do that, you break the cycle of poverty. You break the cycle of ignorance. You break that. I'm saying to you, my friend, that we have to set a bar and let our children rise to it. That's all I'm saying. I did not want my children to only have 4. I was a first-generation college student. I was the first one. And I said, I got to marry a woman with a college education. And I want children with a college education. And that has been the process. Each one of my 5 children all have an LLC. They all own a business. Why? Because I want you to work a job, but have a business so that one day the job is just a promise. The provision, not the promise. Remember that. Jobs are the provision. It gives you what you need. It's not the promise. So I'm sorry, Big C, because I'm passionate about this, and I can go on and on and on. And you knew that. That's what. And you called me, and now you got me all preaching here and motivational speaking. Come here.
All right.
I'll
I
give it
got a question from somebody. Somebody asked, Reverend Mundane asks, what should those outside of the area do to assist, and what organizations are most reliable to give to?
That's a great question. So I would say that the realtors of Metropolitan St. Louis and also the neighborhood association there in St. Louis, and I can give that to you. It is the what's the name of Rhonda's organization?
The emerging is that the emerging leaders, STL,
We got
just like
those. The Academy, Sherman Park. Um, there's a number of good organizations. So I'm not going to say one size fits all. I'm going to say that there's a number of organizations that are doing phenomenal work here in St. Louis, and so
Okay.
the
I
the
tell you what.
Academy, the Academy Sherman Park Neighborhood Association is one that we're working directly with, and then the Realtors of Metropolitan St. Louis is another one that I have that I know is doing great work here.
Okay. I tell you what. Can when we get done, can you shoot me a list of those, and I'll
I
start
will.
on our page?
I will. I will.
Okay. I appreciate that, and we'll get those up for everybody.
Okay. Hold on. I got somebody's at my door. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Um. Yeah. So we'll once we get that list put up, we'll shoot that list out and put it up on our page, and you can copy it, save it, share it, you know, and just do it. Just kind of help do your part, you know. So, um, you guys got anything?
um, I will say, I have a bit of a unique perspective, being over here on the ill side. Um, while I was not directly impacted by the tornadoes, many of my former students and many of my friends and colleagues have been directly impacted.
Mm-hmm.
I know several organizations who have nonprofits who have been boots on the ground since it has started, and they're in areas, not some of the areas that he mentioned, like Forest Park and over there, off Skinker. We're talking about in areas like the Ville, where they got hit very hard. Um, Sadly though, when as Ameren's trying to get power and all back going on, they've been running into some issues of, with gunfire, their trucks getting broken into. Part of me felt like I was hopeful and saddened at the same time, when all that happened, because a lot of those young men or kids that I've taught before, um, who are going through this and living in those areas and dealing with that type of violence. It was one day. It seemed like it was one day, that Saturday, where it was quiet. It was like that one day. And a part of me was, I was praying like maybe this message will get through, um and maybe we'll have a calm. And as I continue to see, like my friend is, she runs Bridge the Gap 314. She's been out there with emerging leaders, emerging business leaders LLC, out there, out there at their YMCA, doing all the things they're doing for these communities, but yet they're in danger when they're out there. They're still facing crimes right in front of them. They got gunfire and all, and I was so hopeful that they would have a ceasefire, that they would sit down somewhere. But not to dampen anything that Keith was talking about, but I'm also gonna talk about some real stuff that's going on in other parts where, some of their very family members have lost everything, but they still out here in the streets stealing cars. drag racing and shooting,
But,
and to where Ameren almost pulled out, said they weren't even going to be trying to restore power because
but,
they felt someone safe out there.
but my sister, sister JD, let me say this. Unfortunately, um, since the beginning of time, we are going to have some bad actors, right?
Yeah.
You are
So,
absolutely 1000% right. I don't detect any lie in what you said. But my sister, all I'm going to say is that you're going to have people who are opportunists. I read an article today that the folks in all of the affected areas are talking about the fear now that power is on of looting, right? Um, on the first day that the tornado hit, I saw my young, misguided African American brothers and sisters looting a Korean hair store, getting bundles um, as if they were handing out government cheese, and it was disheartening. Okay, but what we can't do is let these bad actors get the spotlight from the folks who are doing the work for the people. You're absolutely right. I can't disagree with you. But they are going to be there. I spoke at a conference the day after this at WashU on youth violence and youth prevention programs, and I've been doing this type of work for 35 years. And I said I have been hearing the same rhetoric for 35 years. What we gonna do? This new program, and it continues. And I'm not saying that the programs can't work, and they do help save some, but we are not going to get to the point where we in St. Louis, in Chicago, I just heard about the gangs and the craziness that went on in Chicago over the Memorial Day weekend, in LA, in New York, that we get to the point where we think we are so, we got the magic wand, pixie dust, and everything is okay. It's going to happen. It's going to continue. And I think I'm the oldest one on this call tonight at 64. And I keep reiterating that because thank you, Jesus. Woo! Hope to see 65. we are not going to get to the point where we eradicate this type of behavior and foolishness in our community, because we've got those that continue to think that this is appropriate behavior and that these bad actors are going to continue. So all I'm saying, sister, to you is that you're right, and it's going to continue. I've seen it as a high school principal in East St. Louis, working with youth for 35 years. You save who you can, because everybody, I'm Nelly now, everybody don't want to be saved. Okay? So keep doing what you do, my sister. Help out where you can, but everybody don't want to be saved. And you can't help everybody, because it's a new batch of Negroes that come along every day. They are coming, and they are out to do destruction and be disruptive to our communities.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that, we got any final words we want to get from everybody? Takeaways? Janelle, DA, anybody?
No, all I have to say is, it, as I already said, I hate what's going on in St. Louis. My time here is up though, but I know I put in some time, put in some work, and I've seen some good stuff happening here. over the last couple of weeks, especially since May 16th, when life changed for so many people in that area. As I already stated, I hope that the message, that we all get that message. Some of us have on the come together as a community, but I really, really, really pray that the community that got hit the hardest, the community with the least amount of resources, that message comes through loud and clear. That's all.
All right. Okay.
DA, talk to me,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, I mean, well, I hope it works out for, basically, I hope basically that everybody gets, you want everybody to be moved and everybody that wants to stay to stay. But, I guess in the name of progress, I guess everybody doesn't like it, it's not going to be good for everybody. But, hopefully most, if not all, will be taken care of in some way, shape, or form. Because, you kind of look at it and it's just like, I mean, it was already a plan over there, probably a 10 to 12-year plan that just got turbocharged to probably like a 2 or 3 year plan.
If not longer, DA,
Hmm?
brother, if not longer. Listen, let me say this to my brothers and sisters that are within the sound of my voice, that the plan has always been, and we've been seeing it because when I say we, my wife and I are in the real estate business. I work for her brokerage. We've been seeing this ebb and flow of white folk coming into the city, right? When I'm selling a person a house and I go through the neighborhood that has been predominantly Black, and there are white folk, and I even sold a house to some folks that were of Korean or Japanese descent. So everybody sees that there's some gold in them, their heels in the city, because they are tired of commuting all the way to as far as Jefferson City and St. Charles and everything in between, St. Peter's and all Festus, all that. There's like, wait a minute, I work downtown. I want to live. Everybody wants to live. My wife and I, every business we've ever had, we have been within 5 minutes of where we live. We pick that on purpose. We're not geniuses, right? We pick that on purpose. We want to be close. We don't want a 9-hour commute or 1 hour commute. We want to be able to jump in our car and it take us longer to warm the car up than to get to our place of business. Right now, we're probably 2 or 3 minutes from our office. That's by design. That's what people do when you have the power and the authority. So all I'm going to say here, Big C, as I close, is that at the end of the day, okay, at the end of the day, all I want my folks to know is to stay fast. Know that help is here. Know that we are going to get through this, as this too shall pass. And that we as Black people, let's take this as a lesson. Let's take this, because DA already said it. This ain't nothing new. They've been coming for some years for these properties and other areas ever since that geospatial, the big project over there off of Jefferson. They've been coming. I got a property with a piece of crap property that he's been offered up to $1 million for because of his position to that new project, NGA project over there. He said, Keith, I get calls 2 or 3 times a month, and his offer has been up to $1 million for this big mansion that's over there. So they're coming, and they want to be in the neighborhood, and they want to build, and we're seeing them. It's not a game. Hold fast, Black people.
Okay, so I mean, well, let me say this before we close. What about how can you get people to come together and what you say? I guess you say come together and buy those properties together, buy that land together, so that they cannot come in and just take it over.
I wish that I can give you the remedy for that, Big C. Let me say this: we have, huh? It's a way. It's a way. My wife is in the background. She's my broker and business partner and mate of 27 years. She says it's a way. She's optimistic. I'm pessimistic. I'm saying that we as a people for a very, very, very long time have been leery of each other and worried about who got this and who got the most. I'm not that optimistic as she is, right? Because we got to learn, even within our family, when we try to bring people together and say, let's throw our coins together, let's do this. Now she's been successful. She's got two cousins that came together to be able to do an LLC. Okay, you had to get her on another show right now. You're not on. You're not on. You get Big C get you on next time. DA, you're not on the show. Zip it. But what I'm saying is that there is ways, and I'm gonna be truthful, but we have to start trusting each other and knowing that we can do this if we do come together, and together we achieve more together than we do individually. And once we get past that hurdle and that distrust as Black people, I'm just saying, we can do it. and we can make a difference in our community.
Okay. All right. Well, on that, that's going to do it for tonight's episode. We talked about the storm, not just the one that touched down, but the one that's been brewing for years on the north side, the kind that don't make the news. Big love and thanks to Keith Antone Willis, Sr., for pulling up and dropping knowledge that don't come from the headlines. It comes from history, heart, and lived experience. Look, just about bricks and boards. It's about rebuilding trust, rebuilding community, and making sure folks on the north side aren't forgotten when the spotlight fades. So if you took something from this episode, don't just feel it. Do something with it. Support, speak out. Until next time, stay safe, stay real, and stay unprivileged AF. Good night, everybody.